Hi, hello, and thank you so much for joining me again today of this recording. My name is Athena Gardner. I am the founder and CEO of WeWealth Group, which is a financial consultancy specializing in advisory, AI implementation, digital transformation, learning and development, and sustainable growth strategy. Now, today, what I want to discuss is going to be important considerations and mega trends that we have to consider. And how do we navigate those? Okay, we have to future proof our business beyond Q4. Q4 is an important quarter for businesses and consumers alike. A lot of financial decisions are made in Q4, business decisions are made in Q4, and to carry out the rest of the year and to plan for the upcoming year. So, in a world that is rapidly evolving and driven by so many technological advancements, we have environmental concerns, we have shifting consumer behaviors. All right, the behavioral economy is a whole separate thing that I could discuss. But as we head into Q4 and beyond, we have to anticipate these mega trends and how we are preparing for them, right? How are we preparing for them? So, we're going to be exploring 5 key mega trends in this video. We're going to explore things happening in the financial services sector. We're going to, look at artificial intelligence, sustainable growth, digital transformation, all the things that we discuss that my company focuses on. So, with financial services, right? What is going to be important with financial services is navigating the digital revolution. Okay, navigating the digital revolution. I just came back from Future Proof, which is the world's largest wealth festival, and the AI, and which we will get to, AI and digital were the key conversations that were had on the panels and the sessions. And what I think in this Q4 and in the future, the key important things with digital revolution as it relates to financial services is to embrace digital transformations. Firms and companies who do not embrace digital transformation will find themselves lagging behind, will find themselves being outpaced by their competitors, right? It is important that a company invest in its digital infrastructure, streamline processes, and offer user-friendly platforms that have ease of use and mobile apps to help keep pace with the growing trend of digital transformation, especially as it relates to consumers. It is important that these investments are made so that firms and companies can enhance the customer experience and also improve operational efficiencies, right? But with that comes concern because there are data and security risk and measures that will be needed to accounted for, especially with digitization. Cybersecurity is more important, and companies must invest the money in cutting edge cybersecurity technologies to protect sensitive data from these cyber threats. I don't know about you, but it seems like every other day I get an email. I get an email talking about another company data got leaked, and I need to sign up or can sign up for a free Equifax report. Cybersecurity is the one of the biggest threats that companies face, so it is important that they invest in that technology. What is also going to be important, especially as it relates to financial services, is explore sustainable finance. And what companies need to do is really take that and brainstorm, come up with a solution, maybe hire a consultant like myself. What does sustainable finance mean for me? Okay, sustainable finance, the ESG, the environment, social, and governance considerations are becoming increasingly important, especially with consumers. We see, especially with younger generations who are concerned about what the earth is going to look like, okay, in the future with all the things that we're doing. Um, they are taking those considerations when it comes to their purchasing power. So it's important that companies incorporate sustainability into financial services products and investments so you can easily attract socially conscious consumers and investors. Okay, companies who are going to make that investment will find themselves ahead of the curve, will find themselves ahead of what is going on. Okay, so segueing from financial services, the hot topic, okay, what everyone seems to be talking about, what everyone has their concerns, their brain, whether or not they're a business or not. The topic of discussion, even when I was at this Future Proof Wealth Festival, there was a session on this artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. And I have been talking about AI and the considerations that companies need to make and giving talks about this. But what I will say is AI is not going anywhere. There are a lot of concerns with AI, and companies need to figure out what is going to be their framework, their approach, to AI and how to utilize it in a way that is ethical, utilize it in a way that is aligned with their ethos, utilize it in a way that advances their organization as a whole. Because AI is here and it's revolutionizing industries across the board. Okay, if your company itself hasn't come out with that AI tool, I am sure the tools and systems and processes that your company is using now has some kind of AI element to it, right? And automating routine tasks and using AI driven analytics is going to help companies gain insights to use to make strategic decisions, to use those insights to position themselves for greatness. So, what does companies need to consider when it comes to AI? Well, first, you need to consider AI integration. All right. Companies should integrate AI into their operations, their routines. They need to consider the ethical uses of AI in regard to transparency, fairness, and accountability in AI systems, right? And not just from a moral standpoint, not from just a moral imperative, but a way to mitigate risk associated with bias, discrimination, deep fakes. You're going to have to take those ethical considerations, right? Systems and checks in place. Also, with AI, continuous learning is going to be a thing, right? Investing in ongoing training and development of employees in AI related skills that is going to be essential to maximize the potential of this technology. Companies are going to have to face whether or not they want to invest in upskilling and reskilling their workforce or hire people who already come with those AI skills necessary, right? So now you're looking at the cost of labor, the cost of employees, as AI helps with efficiencies to help reduce the cost of service, employees are going to be able to take on more important key tasks and roles. So as you integrate AI within your company, now decisions are going to need to be made as far as what does the future of your human capital, your human workforce, what does that look like? What tasks and roles do we free up now because AI is handling basically the routine um, tasks or providing insights? Now employees and the workforce are going to have to tune into more, I would like to say, key strategic thinkers and help the workforce and help the company advance in ways outside of just doing repetitive work. So AI is going to be very important as firms and companies move forward. Okay, and also with AI, companies are going to have to address their workforce and address speaking to them about their concerns, about their value, about whether or not they're going to be replaced, whether or not they're going to be need to upskill. as they introduce these new technologies, they might find that there is resistance to it because now the employees are going to be fearful of their value, of what their work is going to look like. And as companies look at that, they need to first reassure their workforce and their employees that they are valuable to the company and that not to look at AI as a threat, but an opportunity for them to take on more advanced, challenging, rewarding work and to add further value and contribution to the organization. Now we transition to sustainable growth, and at this mega trend is going to be important. It's important now. It's going to be important moving forward. Can companies meet environmental and social expectations? Consumers are becoming, like I said, more socially conscious, especially with the younger generations coming up behind. The older generations are retiring. They may look at Earth as Earth is going to be good for me for at least another 20, 30 years. So I'm not tripping. But everyone behind is like, okay, we need to take care of the Earth less because I'm living on it. Right. So sustainable growth is going to be important as far as meeting environmental expectations. Okay. This is no longer a buzzword, but a business imperative. Okay, come from customers to investors to regulators. Everywhere we see demands for environmentally and socially responsible practices, right? So, what does that look like? What directives would a company need to embrace sustainable growth and incorporate it in their strategy for success? Companies should set clear sustainability goals, reduce their carbon footprint, and embrace renewable energy resources. Okay, sustainability should not be um, cast aside as something that is nice to do, but embedded into the core of the business strategy. The other day, I actually went to a auto show, and my first one. Always wanted to go to an auto show, and I was surprised because most of the companies that were there was Toyota, there was Honda, there were foreign cars, all these other cars, obviously. But more than half of the cars that were shown were electric cars. Okay, electric cars. And I said to myself, this is interesting to see this many electric cars. More than half, I think it was a huge percentage of the cars. And if they weren't electric, they were hybrid. So they incorporate some kind of sustainable energy in by the car brand had some kind of car or technology that reduces the carbon footprint and focused more so on ESG factors. But then I remembered that, especially here in the United States, there is I would say edicts. There are laws that are in the car industry that a certain percentage of vehicles need to be environmentally friendly cars by certain dates. So when I remembered that fact, then I said, okay, this makes sense. This is a reason why there's so many electric cars or environmentally friendly cars because the car industry, which is a good example of this, is leading the charge of we need to be incorporating sustainable growth strategy in our products, our deliverability, and our service. Now, they do have government interference pushing them to do this or incentivizing them to do this. But what I would say for a company is to not wait for a law, for a standard to be put in place, and a company should set their own standards, right? Also, from a social impact point, social responsibility initiatives such as community engagement, diversity and inclusion programs for the company can enhance the company's reputation and foster long-term success, right? Also, adopting what is called a circular economy, right? And by circular economy, it means reducing waste, reusing materials, recycling. It can lead to cost savings and reduce environmental impact. Some companies, and figure out whichever company or brand you are, Figure out how in big and small ways you can do that, right? The other day I went to Barnes and Noble and I bought a book and I signed up for a membership. Usually I buy a book on Amazon, but I was like, I can't wait for the 2 day shipping. I need a book right now. Right? I need the book right now. So I went into Barnes and Noble and I guess my membership expired, something with a membership. So I got a new membership. And the membership card on the back, it said printed on 100% reusable materials. And I thought, what a small way, but also impactful to communicate to your customer that you are concerned about the environment, that you are taking steps and measures to reduce your carbon footprint and to leave the earth in an environmentally, great way. So firms and companies in big and small ways need to communicate that to their internal stakeholders like their employees and their external stakeholders like their customers. And that will make a huge impact, because even me as a consumer, I was like, oh, I like that they're doing this. Why? I had a positive view seeing that, and the positive views and a positive attitude towards your brand and company translates to more sales. Does it mean I'm going to buy more books? It actually does. Actually, I'm buying more books from Barnes and Noble. Right. So as we wrap up environmental and social expectations as it relates to sustainable growth, firms are going to need to have to take that into consideration, especially with Gen X, millennials maturing and making more purchasing decisions and affecting the economy. Those are things that are important to that demographic, and firms are going to need to be appealing to that demographic if they want to maintain growth and success long term. Another mega trend that is important to consider is digital transformation, okay? Adapting to a new normal, okay? New normal. With digital transformation, it is no longer an option, but a necessity. Companies that fail to adapt risk becoming obsolete, right? Think of the best example I can give of this is Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? Do you remember that? Remember that big chain that rented movies? We had the VHS. You could go in there, rent movies, rent music, CDs, and all of that. What was Blockbuster's biggest failure as a company? Their failure to adapt to digital transformation. Here came Netflix swooping in, saying that, you know what? You don't even have to go to the store. We'll mail you the movie. We'll mail you the DVD. You know what? You don't even need to have the DVDs mailed anymore. We'll just deliver it at home to you on your TV stream. Overnight, Blockbuster got decimated, right? Bankruptcy. So this is something that is a threat to a firm's survival if they do not adopt digital transformation and embrace that. So, from the standpoint that executives should focus on as it pertains to digital transformation, is customer centricity. They need to prioritize customers' needs and preferences and reflect that in their digital experiences so they can create loyal customers. So companies where they're providing services that are digital, so in apps, on their web presence, they need to focus more on how can I customize this customer's experience, right? How can I have them save preferences, reflect their taste, have technology that learns their behaviors to make recommendations to them that appeal to them? And a good example of this again is Netflix. Now, I don't know how many of you know, but do you know that Netflix, the cover of the movie or the show you're watching, recommends different covers to different people to help encourage them to click and watch the show or the movie, right? Netflix can have like up to 8 different images as the cover image for a movie or a show, And based off your prior watch history and your behaviors on what you do click on and what you don't click on, and what kind of shows you tend to like, and what kind of preferences you are as a customer profile, they will recommend the best cover for you to look at in certain movies and shows, right? YouTube does that as well. The YouTube algorithm, right? Based off your watch history, what you choose, what you pause on, what you click, what you don't, right? It will recommend definitely which videos for you to watch. So firms can learn from Netflix and learn from YouTube and say, in our sphere of business, in our ecosystem, in our company, how can we adopt customer centricity? How can we prioritize customer preferences and personalize them as much as possible, right? Companies also need to create agile frameworks and implement agile technologies to adapt quickly to changing customers and circumstances and customer demands, right? So what does this look like? A firm, depending on the size now, because everyone's budget's different. Okay, everyone's budget's different, but I would even recommend having a team or a task force that focuses on the changing environment and comes up with recommendations of how to adapt to emerging trends, or to hire a consultant like myself to do that for you. Okay, hire a firm like myself. Also, innovation is not a buzzword. Encourage a culture of innovation so your employees feel empowered and propose new and test new ideas. Okay, embrace emerging technologies and trends to stay competitive. Now, with innovation, right, and we previously discussed AI, right? While AI is taking over some easier tasks or taking over tasks that kind of overburden your workforce, you can now give your employees the opportunity to brainstorm, to innovate, to come up with creative and new ways, right? To take time out of the week and say, okay, during this time, we'll have a weekly meeting and just brainstorm what we can do for the department, what we can do for operations, what we can do for sales, right? Encourage how can we retain our customers? How can we retain our clients? Are there anything new that we can embrace? Is there anything else we can do, right? How can we level up our services, right? How can we level up our products, right? Embrace innovation, right? So the key points for digital transformation is to be customer centric, invest in an agile framework, do not be slow to embrace new technologies, new ways of doing things. All right. Certain sectors, such as financial services and other sectors that tend to be legacy, tend to lag behind to embrace these things. But companies and firms, your competitors will outpace you because they embrace technology earlier. Right. So, as we have covered so much, never forget the workforce. Never forget the employees that give value to your organization. And the way that you can give back and give value and also future proof your business beyond this Q4 and on is to cultivate a skilled workforce, right? To focus on learning and development, to focus on bringing the best, especially at a time where employees are questioning their worth, questioning their value. AI is coming out, technology is advancing. Am I still going to be needed in this job? Current economic status is questionable. Certain companies are laying off people by the thousands. What a lot of employees face is a lot of concern about their value. This is a time to reinforce to your workforce, to your employees, right, that their value is important, right? Their value is important. And now is a time for companies to invest in learning and development. Because in an ever evolving business landscape, companies must invest in continuous learning and development of their employees if they want to be successful long term. So the question a company right now might be saying, how do I go about this? What exactly should I be looking at? So, three things, right? First, upskilling and reskilling your workforce. You need to identify gaps within your workforce and provide training programs to upskill or reskill employees, especially with new technologies coming along and making certain tasks obsolete. Just because the task is obsolete does not mean that employee is obsolete. You can upskill or reskill or give them opportunities to embrace more difficult, challenging, and rewarding work. This ensures that your team remains relevant in a changing job market. Another thing companies should invest in is digital learning. Embrace digital learning platforms and resources to facilitate continuous learning. These can be especially useful for remote or hybrid work environments, right? We offer a WeWealth Learning, which is a learning platform and service that we do for corporate clients, where we are able to give a lot of our learning and development services to companies' workforce to help them do such things as upskill and reskill. Also, do that with your leadership, right? Leadership development is going to be crucial, and developing leadership programs to groom future leaders with your organization is going to be vital, right? Effective leadership is crucial for navigating change and driving success. So do not delay or think that that is not important. Companies need to invest in executive coaching programs and also give the executive leadership the support that they need to do their jobs well. Oftentimes, a lot of the struggles executive leaders face is not necessarily the struggles at work, but it's their personal and home life. Make sure that your leaders are having balance at home and do the things or have the structure or the support in place that can also help them support themselves at home. So, I know I said a lot. A lot was said. But a quick recap is that the mega trends are five mega trends that we need to focus on if you want to future proof your business beyond Q4, which is where we're at right now. All right. Q4 starts in a few days. Financial services, navigating the digital revolution, right? Digitizing financial services and making it accessible as possible and customer friendly as possible. We also have artificial intelligence, right? Everyone's talking about AI, harnessing the power of AI, what AI is or isn't going to do, right? Make sure as a company, as it pertains to AI, that you take a look at it, figure out how you can integrate it with your company, the ethical uses of it, and to learn and invest in training on AI. All right. Sustainable growth. Meeting environmental and social expectations are going to have an economic and a bottom line impact for you. If and consumers are looking at this even more so when they're using their dollars and investing and paying for service. So companies are going to have to reevaluate and be strategic when it comes to their sustainable growth strategies. Digital transformation is here and it's not going to go anywhere, honey. So it's important that companies adapt to the new normal and to not be slow in adopting digital technologies. Focus on put customer first as always and have an attitude and mindset towards innovation. Last but not least, your employees matter. They need to feel valued. You need to cultivate a skilled workforce. The workforce of the future is very, very skilled, especially with AI and digital transformation. Companies need to think about what learning and development programs and strategies are going to be necessary to cultivate the workforce of the future. All right. So I have discussed navigating the five key megatrends to help future proof your business and beyond in Q4. For more information on how you can future-proof. I will link the article below. You can go to wewealthgroup.com/insights to see the article itself detailing further and more detailed information on this topic. If you are interested in learning more about WeWealth Group, our services, and how we can help, check the links in the description box and be sure to check us out and inquire. I hope this was useful for you as you think about these mega trends and how to incorporate them in your life, your business, your strategy. And I hope that this has been um, providing you the insight that you need to take your business beyond. I am Athena Gardner, founder and CEO of WeWealth, and I wish you well and success until the next time.